Alright, so we got cut off in the last video as I was just sort of playing around with this and showing you media queries, the difference between using the min and the max. So depending on how you use it, they're both correct. The other thing I wanted to mention also was that you can have more than one media query. So you can also have another breakpoint. These are called breakpoints, where at 750 pixel something changes. So that's a breakpoint. So you can have another breakpoint at, I don't know, like maybe 1000 pixels, or you can have a breakpoint at 550 pixels. And this really depends on, what the screen width for phone is, right? So probably 750 would not, be a breakpoint. Probably the more realistic breakpoint would be 550, and then you might have another one at about, 900 or something like that for a tablet, depending on which device you are designing for. But my point here is that you can actually have another breakpoint here. So you can have another one at media screen and max width could be 550 pixels here, and you can have body, and I always do body because it's just, it's not very useful. Like it wouldn't be something that you actually use in a media query because it's not a useful thing to change, but you'll probably be changing things more like paddings, margins to do with the spaces, font sizes perhaps, and maybe the positioning of elements or float properties, things like that would be what you would change. But I do body here because it's, the least likely that you're going to mess up as you're trying to learn, and also the most obvious thing. You can obviously see if it, changes or not. Okay, so Misty Rose is going to be the background color when it's smaller than 550. So let's go take a look at how that turns out. Okay, so refresh. So here we go. When it's bigger than 750, it's green. At 750, it is now white, and then when it's 550, it is now Misty Rose color. There you go. So you can have many breakpoints. Of course, you would only use it as necessary, so you would probably make those changes happen, when things doesn't make sense anymore, when having a certain size for a heading or having certain widths for paddings or margins doesn't make sense anymore, then that's where you have the breakpoint. It could be on your phone, the width would be a certain width. On your tablet, the width would be a certain width, and depending on what device you're planning for, the breakpoint would be different, but I hope you get what I mean. The next thing I wanted to talk about in this video is your activity one. So for your activity one, you're going to be asked to add some breakpoints add one breakpoint or add one media query, not some, just one media query to the Saffron drinks page. But the Saffron drinks page won't be the Saffron website that you have been working on. I am providing you these files. So if you go over to class files, you'll see activity one files, and when you open that up, you will see the Saffron website here, drinks. Okay, so you'll have this sort of like standard site, and what you're required to do is to add, I want you to add a media query, and let me go see where that media query is added to. I believe it's 550. Okay, at the max width of 550, I want some things to change. Okay, so what do I want you to change here is that I want you to, let's go take a look. Okay, so you can see how the footer has a transparency, right? When the screen size is quite big. So at 550, I don't want it to be transparent anymore. It becomes completely black. And also, this yellow background behind it is gone. Okay, that yellow background is gone. And as well, oops, let me close that. Your links become bigger, and maybe you're wondering, why would I make something bigger when the screen size is smaller? It's because then maybe this is where people have to kind of tap on the words to interact with the website. As before, you have your mouse, so it doesn't matter that your words are small. it's easier to be precise with it. But now that your screen size is smaller, but yet you're going to have to tap with your finger, you want to make that space, that tappable space, a bit bigger. So you want to make the text a bit bigger. Maybe that's why. Okay, and notice that, there you go. Your margins also change a bit. I don't need you to have the exact, margins and paddings and things like that, but I want you to play around with it, and mostly I want you to, as described in the activity, I want you to make number one, the footer not be transparent anymore, be completely opaque. I want that yellowy background to be gone. I want your links to be a bigger size. Okay, so let's try to do those things using a media query and your Saffron drinks page. And of course, don't worry about the other pages at all, just the drinks page. And you don't have to create this page from scratch. It is provided for you in Activity 1 files. Okay, so go have fun with that, and I would like you to upload it onto CyberDuck, and I would like you to put it in a separate folder calling it drinks, okay? And I will click on drinks, and then I would click on that link that you provide me, and I should be able to see this page right away.